So you just got your first wig in the mail. You're super excited, but you're also like, what am I supposed to do with this thing? How do you lay it, pluck it, the whole nine? What are you supposed to do? Well, fear not, because I have got you, okay? We're going to go into detail from how to go from in the box to on your head in this video. First, we are starting with the bleaching process. So right now I have bleach in a bowl. This is BW2 powder. I got it at Sally's. If you want a big jar, you can get it at Sally's, or you can get the packets at like your local beauty supply store. Sometimes they have the big jars. Just get what you want. Anyways, and you use I'm using 40 developer. You can use a 30 developer if you kind of scared of the bleach, because that'll bleach a little slower than the 40, but I like the 40 because it gets the job done quicker. But be careful because you might over bleach the knots. So you mix those two together, right? You take an applicator brush. I would prefer a bristle brush, but I couldn't find that one, so I'm using this kind. So don't feel like you have to use that particular kind, because you don't. So what you're going to do is mix it together. I don't know why I decided to start with the back, so don't pay attention to that part. But all you have to do is mix it together, and you're looking for a toothpaste kind of thick consistency. You want it to be thick, not too thick. You don't want it to be kind of like dry, like where it's at right now. You want it to be like liquidy but thick, and you'll see as we go forward in the video. So you just kind of eyeball it, and you keep adding powder and product as you go until one, you have enough of the bleach mixture together so you can bleach the whole frontal, and two, when it looks like nice and thick. It wants to be like that. It wants to be like that. You want it like that. It wants to be like that. It should be like that. Basically, you don't want it to come off the applicator brush like you just saw there. Like it should, when you flip it, turn it, it should not come off at all, because you don't want it to seep into your lace or onto the hair. You only want it on your knots. So here we're only bleaching the frontal. And we're bleaching the frontal, if you don't know, so that these knots where your wig is tied to the lace won't look like black dots on your head. You want it to look like it's coming out of your scalp. So that's why we're bleaching these knots, so it'll get rid of those black dots and make them seamless, like it's coming out of your head. So we're gonna cover the entire frontal, just the lace of the frontal. We're not gonna cover the back of the wig where there's no lace. You're only covering where there's lace. And when you do this, you basically want to go very, very soft. Like you do not want to press that product into the lace at all. You just kind of want to glide it over very gently, because you don't want it to seep through, because then you'll end up bleaching the hair. After that, then you put the foil on it like you see me doing here. And that is so it puts some heat in it so it can bleach a little bit faster. If you know anything about dyeing hair, that's why. And then when that's done after about 25 minutes, then you're going in with your Shimmer Lights shampoo and conditioner. You want to use Shimmer Lights because that'll get rid of the brassiness that you will have after you bleach the knots. And so you use that shampoo and conditioner, and you just shampoo and condition as normal. Now, moving on, we are going into the customization process. This process is where we're going to start plucking the frontal. And I plucked to thin, and then I plucked to customize. So right now, I'm getting ready to, well, I am actually moving out the hair that I want to section out for baby hair. I don't want to pluck at these hairs yet. I'm saving that for later. So I'm just putting a thin layer out for the hairline and just separating that from the rest of the hair, which I'm going to pluck. I'm spraying it down with water because one, that keeps the hair going in the directions that I want it. Two, it also makes it easier to see how much hair you plucked so that you don't create a bald spot. It is so easy to create a bald spot, so you want to be very careful. So basically plucking, this is actually pretty easy once you get the hang of it, but you just kind of pluck a few times in one section and you move down the row. You don't want to stay in one part of the row too long, because then you are at risk for creating a bald spot, and that's what you don't want. So if you can see how I'm like lightly plucking in one spot and then moving, so you can kind of like in your head be like pluck, 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 move, pluck, 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 move. Like you can do it like that in your head if you need to, but just don't stay in one area too long. It's better to go back and fix the mistake that needs to be plucked more than to overpluck, because you can't fix that once it's overplucked. Just go back about 2 to 3 rows. It really just depends. 2 rows, you're safe. 3 rows if you want to go the extra mile. The only thing with 3 rows is that sometimes it can be a little too see-through, and then you're forced to have to do the bald cap method so you can't see the cap. Each row, I'm still doing the same exact thing, and when you're done, it should look something like this. See how that looks more natural and gradient of a hairline and not just thick from the front to the back? Like, that's not normal. It looks like a wig. Now we're moving into putting the wig on our head, installing, and doing the final touches for customization. So this wig is from Cranberry Hair. It is the deep wave. It has 2 combs on the side. It also has a comb in the back, and it also has adjustable straps in it. I'm also wearing 2 wig caps, and the reason for this is because it's going to keep my head flatter than if I just wore one. I got really thick hair. So now that I have that on, I'm just sizing it now because you want to see where you want the wig to sit on your head, how far you want it to come up, when is it, you just want to see how it's going to fit for you. So play around with it before you start cutting or gluing anything. Now what I'm doing, and some people do this on a mannequin head, I prefer to do this on my head, is I'm looking at my hairline in the mirror, and then I'm going to pluck to match the dips and grooves of my hairline. It does not need to be exact for this. You just want it to help you create a more natural hairline within the wig. We've already thinned it out. Now we want to create like dips and grooves that a natural hairline would have. So as you can see here, I lift up the wig, I look at my hairline, and then I match those dips and grooves. Again, not perfect. It doesn't have to look exactly like my hairline, but just make it look like a natural hairline.
'Cause I don't know what awaits me here when I walk out that door. So let me say how you make my life much sweeter. Let me say how much I really need you. Let me say no, 'cause I don't know.
Once the dips and grooves are added, now we're ready to install the unit. I'm going to be using Got To Be Glued gel and Got To Be Glued freeze spray to apply this wig. First thing I'm going to do is cut 2 slits because it's easier to apply your wig in sections than to try to do it all at once. Now I'm matching it up with my ear, and the reason being is because I'm going to cut off that ear flap, but I want to make sure that I have the wig lined up with where it needs to be so I don't cut the ear flap wrong. And I am cutting upwards and behind my ear, like the blade of the knife, the blade of the scissors is touching my ear canal, like from the outside. You don't want to go to the top of your actual ear because that's cutting too high. You want it to go behind your ear. And the reason you cut off that flap is so that you can lay your wig properly on the side, so it's not going over your ear, because these wigs are meant to have excess so that if someone has a bigger head, it'll still fit on them and they can cut it to fit their head as well. So look at it from that angle. You can see why I cut how I cut. See how it goes behind the ear. And I do the same thing for the other side. So now that the wig is properly cut on the sides to fit, we're ready to start installing. I do about 2 to 3 thin layers of the Got To Be gel first. It's fine if I get it in my hair because it's just gel. And the reason you want to use these in thin layers is because the yellow tube, while it does get tackier than the other option in the black bottle that is clear already, it's if you put too much at one time, it'll dry white, and you don't want that, because if it dries white, then it doesn't look as good when you're finished, and you just don't want it to dry white. Why would you want it to dry white? So that's why you apply it in thin layers. And then I go through with the Got To Be Glued freeze spray, and I use that for extra hold. You can actually apply your wig with just either of these products, just one of them if you wanted to, but I'm using both for extra hold. So you kind of let that get tacky after you've applied it, and then you're going to go ahead and lay your wig down. And then you want to press the hairline into your skin. That's when you want to pull out your blow dryer, and you want to have it set on cool. I put it on high, but also on cool, and I just use that to help me dry the wig. The only reason I cut the lace at that moment was just so I could pull that middle flap up a little bit higher. You do not want to cut the lace off just yet. And so throughout the rest of the other 2 sections, I'm doing the exact same thing that I just showed you on that first section. Now that I'm ready to cut off the lace, I'm going to use an eyebrow razor. And you could use scissors, but I'm using the eyebrow razor because it allows for a more jagged and natural hairline than the scissors do. The scissors kind of make it look a little more wiggish. So that's why I prefer to use the eyebrow razor, but you can use either one. When using the eyebrow razor for the most natural look, you want to go kind of slow. I know some people go really fast. It's because they're used to it, but you want to go kind of slow because you can easily lose control and go too deep into your lace, into the hair that you didn't want to go into. So that's why you want to stay doing it slow so that you can remain in control of it. And that will kind of lift up the lace a little bit when you're done. So I just take my comb and press it back down into the gel. And I just keep doing the same exact thing for the other 2 sections, going very slowly so I can stay in control. And then pressing down whatever comes back up.
How you make my life much sweeter, let me say.
I take my scissors to cut off any excess lace that I missed, because it's much easier to cut off anything you missed with scissors than it is the eyebrow razor. So I do use my scissors to go back and cut off any excess lace. And any parts that are still sticking up, I go ahead and use some freeze spray to tack that back down. And then I put my scarf on so we can get some more of that melt action with the lace into your skin so it'll look seamless. I leave my scarf on for about 10 minutes and then I take it back off. And now I'm ready to style the hair and just clean up any like gel residue that's on my forehead and anything like that. All you need is a little water, not too much because you don't want to lift the wig up, but just a little bit to clean up any of your gel, like dried up gel that's not under the lace, so it, you know, it's sticking out and all that. Just cleaning it up basically. And then if your lace is a little too light, you can always take some powder, or you can take some liquid concealer if you have it. I prefer powder, it's a little less messy and you can tint that very easily. And now I'm just doing some final touches to that. Anything that came up, just pressing it down and making sure it stays down because we want this to look natural. So now I'm going and adding some, I wouldn't call it baby hair, but just wispy hair in the front. Everyone has a little bit of wispy short hairs in the front. Right now I'm adding them by my ear. I add them by my ear mainly because my hairline comes out a little bit farther than lace frontals do. So I do that to blend in. So, you know, it just looks a little more seamless.
Yesterday, we both fussed and fought and argued all night long.
And also because I just felt like adding some hair in the front would kind of look a little more natural than just leaving it as is. I am going to add a few small wispy hairs to the front. Again, I'm not trying to go full out baby hair or anything like that because this is a natural install that we're going for, but I did want to add some wispiness because I felt like that would play into the naturalness a little bit better than leaving it as is. Again, also optional.
That tomorrow isn't a promise, so
to do that, you literally just section out just a few, like I mean very few hairs, and then you see basically how I did it. Just put a little freeze spray on it and swoop it. See how you can kind of barely even tell that it's there? That's what you really want if you want it to be very wispy. If you were going for full out baby hair, you would use a thicker amount of hair.
let me say how much I love you. Let me say how I adore you. Let me say.
And now we have a natural hairline. So now we're moving into styling. And with styling, I'm going to start by parting it. I chose the middle part. You could choose whatever part that you wanted. And to help me lay this wig, I'm going to use some mousse and, as you saw, my hot comb and my wand curler. I'm going to use the mousse to flatten the wig down and position it in my part, because these wigs don't come with the part. You have to position it in the part that you want it. And then I'm going to use my hot comb because that helps set that frontal look where the hair kind of comes back and then forward. That helps set that in place pretty easy. And it's also helping me to straighten the roots of that wig. I want the roots kind of straight because that helps me to tame the hair in the style that I'm going for. It's also helping me set that part as well. I really like using my wand to really get in there and help me set things though. I like the hot comb because it gets to the roots, but I like the wand for like pressing it down and doing those final touches. That's just me. So now we're ready to move into defining the curls. And I will tell you guys, I've been wearing this hair for a while now since I've recorded this video. It does kind of tangle a little bit. You will have to do some nightly maintenance, but it is pretty good, especially for the price. So I do like the hair. I love the curl pattern. It's very cute. The cap size actually fits pretty well. I would definitely say it was regular head friendly for sure. I don't know about larger head, but definitely regular head size friendly for sure. I didn't have any problems with the fit. And I love how easy the curls are to manage. Like all I'm using is water and mousse. I'm not using any like actual curl cream or anything like that to get these curls to act this way. So I really like that. The density, it wasn't given to me, but I would definitely say it's anywhere between 130 and 150. But I like how dense it is. It's not too much, not too little. Definitely something you could wear that looks full, but is also very lightweight. I didn't even have to do that many sections with this. I did pretty large sections to define the curls, and it didn't take me very long at all. It does shed just a tad, but I expect that with some curly hair. But it's not bad. You won't get gobs and gobs of hair out or anything like that. So I'm just using the freeze spray to kind of help set that hair back. So when I pull it forward, it kind of goes back and forward. You'll see when I'm done. And then I'm going to add some pressed powder into my part because my wig cap slid a little far back. So I'm just matching that up with the powder to match where the wig cap starts. So that way it looks seamless. It doesn't look like there's my black hair underneath the lace and then my wig cap. And then there you have it. That is how you get a natural install. All the details on what I do to get from in the box to on the head. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.